Hey guys, what's going on? I'm just Joni with Health Freedom Iowa and of course Homegrown Health, where you're encouraged to take charge of your health and healing all from home. I've got a very special guest here, Dr. Kevin Miller from Epic True Chiropractic in Des Moines, Iowa. Or is it True Epic? Please fix it for me, Kevin.
EP True.
EP True. EP True. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how I always remembered that it was Epic to me, was
Yeah.
EP. Yeah, okay, got it.
Epic.
EP, I could tell I was just butchering it right from the beginning. So
Good.
EP True Chiropractic. I apologize, Dr. Kevin, but you've got Del Bigtree coming for quite an event called Making the Sense Out of the Confusion. This is happening in Johnston, Iowa on Saturday, April 2nd. Talk to me about what got you inspired to get this event going.
Yes, well, with all the stuff going on, I've heard Del speak many times and got to know him, got to know the organization. I'm a donor to ICANN, Informed Consent Action Network. And this year we just said, hey, let's see if we can get Del back to Des Moines. He's come up to the Iowa Informed Choice Conference the last couple of years. And I wanted him to come for our patients, for our community that we have in the Des Moines area, and come in so he can share his knowledge. He's an investigative journalist he's won an Emmy Award on the Doctors and Dr. Phil shows. And I know he has always been like, hey, let's bring in some more unconventional things about health and healing. And but they always shut him down. So he went out on his own and said he got involved with the Vaxxed bus 6-7 years ago when the Vax and helped make the Vax movie. And then he started ICANN, Informed Choice Action Network, which is his just the hunt for the truth, right? On truth about health and well-being and
personal health freedoms and advocacy for and upholding our rights to be able to advocate for ourselves, especially. I mean, little did we know, right, that this was going to be the result of actually really needing to advocate for our health when he started that.
Then going through COVID and starting his viewership is up to 6 million people per week, which is crazy. It's higher than any news network out there.
I was going to say it definitely is beating out mainstream media, which is why they deplatformed him on certain social media sites.
Yeah, and he got deplatformed from everything. And the crazy thing is he sends you an email every single week after the show with every resource, every study that they talk about on the show. And it's all there. It's not fiction, it's fact. Everything that he goes through, the studies, and it's not done by him, it's done by other people. So they're just researching other people's work, presenting it, the stuff that doesn't get out on mainstream media. And that's why I love it, because I like going through the studies and researching and understanding what is going on, the truth. And that's what we said. We're like, hey, let's go after the big dog. Let's get Del here. And he was open that weekend and it worked out. So,
I love it. I love how the synchronicities work for that to happen. And, he has such a fabulous team. I've met a lot of the guys and women that he works with, and they are such a fabulous team. I know that everyone there, I can just work so hard to make sure that we have access to the studies, access to the information that isn't being reported. And I'm just so grateful to be able to have Iowa be another place that he can come here to again and again. And we can fill the seats and have more people hear the truth.
Yeah, when you start shutting down people, when he gets shut down, that's a red flag right there that somebody doesn't want you to know something. And when people start getting shut down, and and that's why both sides need to be presented and have an open conversation, an open dialogue. And that's just not happening today. And unfortunately, we have the truth on our side, and understanding how the body works and what happens when you do something to the body. And that's what it's going to be about all day on Saturday, April 2nd, is talking about just function and healing, and what you can do to make your body function better and heal better from the inside out, not necessarily the outside in all the time.
Right. And I do think the inside out is always the approach we have to take. I mean, I've got my green juice that I just finished.
Yeah.
I've got, I've been on a cleanse.
Yes.
So, those of us in the natural health world, those of us in the preventative, proactive lifestyle, we go to great lengths to not only educate and empower ourselves, but those clients or patients for you that you work with, clients for me, that they would understand how to heal themselves. That the education that you share is teaching your patients how to eat, lifestyle changes, things to do to prevent illness instead of react to it. And I know that you're going to be talking about the immune system and immune regulation. Share with us a little bit on what we're going to be able to learn from you on the day of your event, April 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to go back to before we got live here. We were talking about I just had a baby 2 weeks ago.
And congratulations again.
My wife did.
Yeah.
And it's been just going through, I have 2 teenagers, so it's been a few years, 13 years since I had a baby. And just to start out with a little philosophy, going back to 2 cells come together to make a baby, and 9 months later, a little human being comes out. Now that is powerful. And everybody has that power in them to be able to make that, to know that we get 5 fingers, and we get a heart, and we get lungs, and we get intestines and eyeballs, and they can see and hear. I mean, that's pretty amazing how that intricate details of a little human body can happen from 2 cells. 2 cells coming together.
Can I share my favorite part about that? Can I share my favorite part about that?
Yeah.
So when the sperm actually goes into the egg, there's a spark that happens.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's just so much about like the electricity that's in us, the power, the electric universe, just right into our cells. Like, how that happens is just so amazing to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is a gift from God that it is electricity. Like the lightning comes and makes this human being. And after having the baby, it's like, it's just made that point even stronger to me that everybody has that power in them, that healing power, that spark, that electricity in them. You just got to find it and allow the body to do its work. But humans, we get programmed, and we've been trying to get programmed for the last several years of, you don't need to take care of yourself. You just need outside in. You need a product, a pharmaceutical product, to make that spark happen. That is a complete lie. You don't. Everybody has that spark in them. And that's what, philosophy wise, what the chiropractic philosophy is all about. Everybody has that innate intelligence in them from the universe to heal. But you have to do some work to make sure that you're doing the right things every single day in your lifestyle. You can't vandalize your body for 20, 30, 40 years. And then when you get the diagnosis, expect a pill to fix it. It doesn't. It could reduce symptoms, and it could save your life in a crisis. Absolutely. But if you want to get true health, you have to put time, energy, money into your own body, into this thing. This is what is going to get you by, this is your life. And unfortunately, people take care of their houses better and their cars better.
For sure.
Their things better than when they take care of themselves. And so that's what my mission, my team's mission here at EP2 Chiropractic is to get that message out. Because if you watch TV, they don't tell you that message.
Oh,
Not once have you heard, okay, what can you do to make your immune system better throughout this COVID? People are starting to say, oh, take vitamin D, take vitamin C, zinc, and things like that. But it took forever before that happened. Maybe go out and exercise. The worst thing that you can do at the beginning in 2020 was shut down the gyms. Like, exercise increases your immune system. Not you shut people down, their immune system goes down.
Right.
So more specifically on the what I'm going to be talking about at the event is how that immune system works, and the inflammatory immune system versus the non-inflammatory immune system. and natural infection versus artificial infection, because there's huge differences in those. And again, they don't tell you that. They just say, oh, get a shot and everything's going to be good. You're going to be great forever. But they don't tell you the other side of the story and the risks behind it. And there are risks. And when there's a risk, there should be a choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know that I'm glad that you brought up the two different types of inflammatory and non-inflammatory disease introduction. I've come up with new ways to have words that aren't going to be triggered, censored, or where you're shadow banned, right? So the body, a lot of people don't break it down and think about, how does my body get disease? How, when a pathogen is introduced, does my body get sick? Because we're blaming it all on the bacteria or blaming it all on the virus. And while the microbiome and the virome are just two totally different things and very important in understanding the rest of your health and your immune function, those are long studies to talk on another show about. But just the simple physiological breakdown or the simple biological breakdown of an injection, and or let's say getting a cold naturally, right? Where something's introduced to your body is not entirely able to fight it off before it creates symptoms and makes you sick. Those are two very different processes that have been sold in a package to make you believe that it's the same thing, and it's not.
Yes, that is very true. And the cool thing is you can even get an infection and never have a symptom.
Absolutely. You can build immunity all day long without getting sick.
That's the goal. But also somebody can get exposed to ragweed and their eyes and sinuses and their ears blow up, and they're out for a week because they're so inflamed, because they're hyperimmune, their system is so hypersensitized. And so you can train your body to be non-inflammatory. It takes time, but it's possible. And that's a thing that people don't understand is you can heal your body, you can heal your immune system over a period of time, so that you can drive towards non-inflammatory, and not every time you get exposed to something new, you're going to get sick, because you do have memory cells that remember things. But if you're so inflammatory, it's like dropping a bomb. If that bomb, it's gonna take care of the problem, but it also is going to cause collateral damage.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with your immune. So many people have bombs going off in their body that, it's going to fight the infection, but then there's collateral damage that goes on also.
Yeah, the longer term effects of I always think it's the reactionary mindset, and mindset is so huge and important. And I know that we've talked about this on shows before, but let's revisit that topic again. So we, the way that we've been trained, as you talked about in the beginning, to see our body, to respond to symptoms, to respond to what we would perceive as illness. When really I look at any symptom that pops up from our body as a way of our internal communication system letting us know, knock, 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 hey, here's what's going on. Like, I'm going to need some attention because I've been giving you these warning signs and you've been ignoring them. So now we've got a problem, friend. I need your undivided attention because I'm breaking down. Like, that is a communication system that's so intelligent and so, it's innate. So, and a lot of times we tend to ignore that too. Why do you think people are so, I don't know. I mean, I know that the trained and the programmed aspects of it all, but what do you think it is in people that creates hesitancy or resistance around really reconnecting with themselves?
The culture. I believe it's a culture, the way that people are trained, the way the medical, the system, and big pharma. Big pharma, I'll call it out. Big pharma, it's a legalized cartel. I mean, a lot of the chronic illness drugs, they want to sell more of them. And for example,
it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? It's like the largest. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and the vaccine industry, they can't get sued for it, and their product really doesn't even work. The thing going on right now, I don't want to get censored and say it, but it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And now they have government's paying for them, not just insurance companies paying for, and people paying them. Now governments are paying their business and making billions. So what other industry has no liability for their product?
None.
In my industry, I have liability insurance. Almost every single, maybe there is one, I don't know, but that is one that they don't have liability. So why are they putting so much energy into the vaccine industry? Is because they can't get sued. If it's a drug, they can get sued on it. They put a lot of money and they make a lot of money off it, but there's also a lot of risk when they do that.
Right.
But now, no risk in this one. And that was from our government in 1986. US Congress passed a law that took all liability away from those pharmaceutical companies and put it on the government.
If you want to know more about that too, let me throw this out there. 1986, The Act is a movie. It's a documentary. You can go to The Act, 1986, theact.com to get more information. It's a great watch. You can just rent it right from your screen and stream it right here on your computer and learn more about the liability-free Act of 1986 that our government put in front of us or put on the pharmaceutical companies for zero liability.
Yeah, and I think really that's something. For this industry, that's where it starts. And guess what's happened since 1986? That has been a steady incline on the children's schedule, and on the adult schedule of what's mandatory. Now, they aren't mandatory unless you're in California or New York, I believe, that it is. It's like it's law there, but there is exemptions in all the other states. But I think we're just so trained. The pharmaceuticals trained, all the medical doctors industry, a lot of them, and media. I mean, on TV, every commercial is a drug commercial. Right.
And on radio now too, on a lot of your online, streaming platforms. And what people really, I think, need to understand is when advertisers purchase advertising, they help pay the bills to keep those things going. And so we have pharmaceutical companies making a ton of money, and they're able to afford those prime time slots during every hour. So it's a saturation of a particular mindset being thrown out there on radio, TV, social media, etc., wherever they can get their ads.
Yeah. So just for example, we got talking about money here. I was at a website. I just wanted to look at the stock market and see what was going on, whether it's up or down. And one ad is inflation is killing, America, 7%, blah, blah, blah. The next article was Moderna stocks are through the roof, and their quarterly profits were in the billions, so here it is. Everybody's suffering inflation at the gas pump, grocery store, whatever. But then the next one is Moderna's stocks are everybody's making billions there. And so it's very frustrating to see that because they are not helping people get healthy. It's a Band-Aid, right. It's a Band-Aid, and people just don't, if they know how to get healthy. And I think most people want to. When I talk to my patients, when I ask them what are your health goals, they say, I want to get off the drugs, I want to lose weight, or get more energy. Those are the three things that people want. They don't want to be on drugs forever. Maybe they do short time. And if your blood pressure is at 250 over 150, yes, we need something to bring it down immediately to save your life. But most people don't want to be on taking pills forever.
No.
And that's where people get in that rut instead of learning how to stay healthy. And it's hard. It's hard, right, to make those changes. So then people give up on it. Yeah.
And I think that making the changes is where, we come in, because when you live the lifestyle and you reconnect with food and you reconnect with what actual minerals and vitamins your body needs at a basic level just to survive and function every day, something as little as magnesium, responsible for nerve conduction and 300 metabolic processes in your body. It's like, as long as we don't have that information, we can't do better if you don't know better, right? But when you learn to do better, then you can start incorporating these things into your body going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I feel so much better. I have so much energy. Yeah. So
and that's why we do the conferences, because if we can just change one person's life, add 10 years to their life, and get them off some medications, or whatever their situation is, that's what we want. That's what we care about, is just getting to that one person. If one person, then that's going to turn into two people, and then that just keeps multiplying. So you never know what you say or do today, how much it'll affect tomorrow. And that's one of our big sayings in our office is just plant the seed. It's not up to us to let it grow. It's up to them to grow it, but at least we can watch and see somebody's life change.
Yeah, I one of my favorite, I have a couple of favorite sayings or thoughts on that when it comes to your job is to kind of walk through the door and let everybody else drink, right? Leading the horse to the water, and then you have to drink the water, So I think when you provide the water, the horses will come. I don't know. I'm gonna go right now and ask you more about the event, and let's get on to the other speakers that you have that are there as well. So it's not just Del. I mean, you're going to be teaching on the immune system, which I think is great. It's one of my favorite ways to nerd out. And who else do you have there teaching all about health and immune system function and ultimately health freedom?
Partner, Dr. Humam Hussein, is also he's going to be sharing his story. He's got an amazing story on how he's transformed his health by becoming a doctor of chiropractic, but also even before that, understanding what natural health is and how he grew up. He grew up, he didn't know anything about medication or about chiropractic and natural health. So he's going to share his story. And then Melissa Grandin's kind of she's going to be up there emceeing and maybe giving some product information on what some protocols are, so people can go home that day with some action steps and some things that they can start doing right away that day, so they can start improving their health. So and then Del, he's the headliner.
He's the big cheese, isn't he? He is so fabulous.
Have a morning about an hour and a half. I'll do about an hour in the morning also, and then Dr. Humam, and then myself, and then Del in the afternoon to close it up.
Love
and
it.
Then we're going to question and answer at the end. So if you have questions that come up, we'll have you text them to a link, and then we'll be able to answer those questions. Hopefully get through most of them live that day.
I love it. That's so great. The service that you're providing the greater Des Moines area, I know I'll be traveling up to see you guys from where I am here in the Quad Cities and Davenport, Bettendorf, Iowa. But if you are anywhere within the sound of this podcast, of this broadcast, please consider heading up to the Hilton Garden Inn in Johnston, Iowa. And it's for Saturday, April 2nd. It's worth taking a trip up to see everything that is going on with Del and with the speakers, and learning how to improve your immune system.
Yeah, Del, if you haven't heard Del speak, or go to thehighwire.com. If you've never heard of him, go to listen to him and listen to his shows and just see how much sense it makes. I would recommend doing that anyway. It's all, what do you call it? Nonprofit. His ICANN network is nonprofit. So it's all funded by the people.
Yeah.
And you can have a role in helping. They've done it. They have a legal team behind ICANN, and I do know some of the attorneys there, and they are amazing. That they do great work on getting the truth out of government agencies is another thing that's huge, and fighting different governments, or fighting, bringing lawsuits to get the truth out. So you can help with that, be part of it. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's icandecide.org, right? icandecide.org.
Yeah. .org.
Yep. And that is for the people, by the people, Del Bigtree in Iowa at EP True Chiropractic with Dr. Kevin Miller. Is there anything else that you would like to share to help people realize just the importance of grabbing a hold of their sovereignty, and taking charge of their health?
Yeah. I want to say one thing. We at the Hilton Garden Inn on that day, we have a lot of people signed up already. Last check, we only have 92 seats available, and we're about a month out, so they're going to fill up. I wish we would have found a bigger place, but we are going to have some space constraints. But get signed up so you make sure that you get your ticket before it sells out.
Yes, and where can they get their ticket, and how can we find you, Dr. Kevin?
Yeah. Yes, there's a Reg Fox link. It's at epchiropractic.regfox, so regfox.com/educated.
Yes. And I will make sure to post the link as well when we air this broadcast. Yeah. eptruechiropractic.regfox.com/educated.
Yeah. And we did get, so just a little background, we got banned from another sign up Eventbrite because we had Del, had his name on our thing. So they're like, nah, we're not going to let this happen on Eventbrite. So Reg Fox has been great. Plug for them too, because it you hear about people getting banned, but until it happens to you, it's like, you don't think much about it. And so that just goes back to be careful who you're doing business with too.
Yeah. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, like it's going to eventually happen. Right. So I'm like, I'd rather live for the cause, right? Like that's fine. There's always other businesses willing to, especially with like social media and stuff like that. I think people think, oh my gosh, this is like the only outlet. Oh no, there are other businesses always willing to pick up the slack. There are other outlets that are always going to show up and be willing to take the business if the others won't. And I think it's really important to support those businesses now more than ever.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be a great day. The weather should be good. So hopefully there's no snow in Iowa in April.
None.
April 2nd.
No, don't swear at me like that, Kevin.
Yeah. It's going to be a wonderful day. And I guarantee you will leave there a different person. Your ticket does include lunch. So everything will be right there. And just be able to spend the day and learn about how to stay healthy.
That's amazing. One of my favorite experiences with at a Del conversation, whenever Del has been speaking in Iowa and other places, one of the things that I like to do is talk with people afterwards, and they are just in so much awe of how much they learned in a short amount of time, and how much what he said spoke to their heart, and how much of what he said makes sense. And it's just really awesome to watch people bloom and blossom and kind of awaken to their own inner light and truth. And Del's a huge catalyst for that in people, I've noticed. And so it's just another great way to bring that to your patients or potential patients or clients in Iowa. Yeah.
Yep. Getting out to the community.
Absolutely. Well, we will have the link wherever you hear this podcast, and we'll be able to, that way you can pass it on and help fill up the rest of those 92 seats, because they will go fast. I guarantee it. You get a few more moms groups, and man, they are going to be there, and you will have no seats. You'll be standing in the hallway. Awesome. Dr. Kevin Miller, thank you so much for being in service to our community in this way. People don't know what they're missing until they don't have their health anymore,
Yeah. And unfortunately, it takes people to get to that spot before they start caring. But there's still hope even then.
Yeah. Never lose hope, right? Never lose hope. Never lose your health. Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Des Moines Saturday, April 2nd. It's at the Hilton Garden Inn in Johnston, Iowa. Head over to EP True Chiropractic. I'll put the link up there, and we will be seeing you Saturday, September 2nd to see Del Bigtree in Des Moines,
All right.
Iowa.
Can't wait. Let's go.
Thanks.
Change lives. Keep changing lives.